Okay, welcome back to the Canberra City Garden. Today we've had a fairly busy day of planting because by planting today we want the crops to be ready in about early to mid-January when our clients come back from Christmas. So today in this area here we've planted our eggplant. It's a very popular food, and Julie at the moment is just, we planted out and she's just putting some of the fertiliser. This is the sea salt, which is dynamic lifter and seaweed. And now she'll just water them in. So whenever we plant, put a bit of fertiliser around and then we make sure we water them in. The good thing this week, on about Thursday, we're getting about 20 mil of rain, so that will really help them settled in. Just moving over here, is that we've planted our tomatoes last week, and you'll notice we've got a bit of cover, and the idea behind that is at the moment, there could still be a late frost, and we want to make sure that tomatoes are very susceptible to the frost. But at the beginning of the beds, one of the things that goes well with tomatoes in growing is basil. And basil's a bit susceptible to snails. So one of the things we're doing here at the moment is Julie's putting some eggshells around the eggplants. That will hopefully prevent any snails from having a feast. The other thing we've done today is we've started our first group of capsicums. And this year we're growing the bigger capsicums. They're often a red or a green. And this bed here, we've got a space a bit further on that we'll plant some more capsicums later on. So one of the things we try and do with our planting here is plant over the same vegetable over several weeks. So that means we extend the life of harvesting. If you plant everything on the same day, it all gets produced on the same day. So this is our capsicum here. Again, we've got some tomatoes here under cover. In the next week, we'll probably take the cover off and the irrigation here will start running. But at the moment, we're doing some hand watering. Just walking further along, we've got the leeks. And we'll probably start to harvest them in the next few weeks because they're actually starting to go to seed. And how you tell they're going to seed is at the top, they produce this little bulbous thing that's got all the seeds in. And once they go to seed, they're really ready to be harvested. So these will be harvested as really baby leek. Now walking down here, you would have seen that we've had the beetroot. So we're now starting to harvest the beetroot. The spring onions, they're going to be ready in a few weeks. And then in this row here, we've got cucumbers. And again, they will start to take off as it warms up, and they'll hang over the side here. So moving down to the end here, we've got Bob today. So Bob's planting our sweet corn.
Hello, how you doing?
You might explain a little bit about planting the sweet corn, Bob?
Yeah. Sweet corn, very popular plant. What's really, really important with sweet corn is that you plant them in rows. And the reason for that is that they're pollinated by wind and not bees. And if they're just in a single file, the cobs will be half empty. So very important when you're planting corn. As you can see, we've got 2 rows here and the third one starting. And when you're planting out, it's really important that you treat the little seedlings delicately because they're little babies. Water the ground first where you're going to plant them, and when you've planted them, it's important that you get some sea salt onto the plant because it's a very stressful period for the seedlings, and sea salt is a way of just relieving that stress and gives them a good start in life. So
once Bob's finished this, in a few weeks we're actually growing corn from seed, and we'll put it in these areas here. So again, probably in this area here, we might get 40 to 50 corn plants. So thanks for that, Bob. So it's just putting one in here now. So just moving around here, so this is our potatoes. So we've got the vertical tubs, and then we've got the potatoes that have been grown in the ground. Along here, we've got our beans. So we've got several lots. So these are the bush beans or small beans. That's very easy to pick. So they'll be all to cover through here. And then later on, we'll put more cucumbers down the side here. So these beds are starting to fill up. So chilies down here. So in this area here, this year we're going to be planting pumpkins and zucchinis. And the pumpkins are all the containers along the back fence here. So we put them here, and that's a little pumpkin there. Now why we put containers over these is early on, pumpkins and zucchinis, they're really susceptible to snails and slugs. So we really want to make sure they get nice and healthy before we take the containers off. So these containers will stay on about 2 or 3 weeks. They're like a little glass house that really does promote growth and that sort of thing. So this area here will be lots of zucchinis and pumpkins. And with the pumpkin, we're going to grow them up the fence, and that way, when they start to produce the fruit, you tie the fruit to the fence, and that way you can grow a lot without taking up a lot of space. So hopefully we'll show you some videos later on of that. And down here is again more zucchinis and more pumpkins. So the zucchinis we've got in here at the moment are blackjacks. So that's the dark green zucchini, and there's a range of pumpkins along the back fence here. So that's going to get that doing. Finally, the garlic's going really well, as you can see. Really nice. So we've got about 50 plants in there. So we'll probably harvest that in late December. And just to finish up, these are the pots that you planted out. They're all going pretty well, and that sort of thing. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight into where the garden is at the moment. And today we planted eggplant, basil, capsicum, corn, pumpkin and zucchini. So as you can see, most of the garden beds are now filling up. Some of the things we've got to do in the next few weeks, we want to put in some more capsicums, chilies, and we've got some more tomato plants to put in as well. So we'll leave it at that, and hopefully you've got some insight into what we're doing here.